we back?
Are we there? We're starting over.
Got it. We got it. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
Man, this thing's freaking me out. Sitting there like I'm on this episode of
Wayne's World.
That yellow, that glass house thing, man.
Well, actually, we're coming to you live from, we're down in Fortson, Georgia, at our office, at the Bone Collector office, and we're actually in Waddell's office. We're packed in here tight like a bunch of lab rats, but
yeah.
And I gotta say, Waddy, I mean, you have really done some decorating, and it looks nice.
You look at this, and you know, see, never locked. Doors always open, man. Come right on in. We're just talking, hunting, celebrating outdoors, baby.
Yep, looks good.
You like my decoration, don't you?
You did good, man. It's got a good earthy feel and
good
death vibe to it too. So let's take another question. Is Ryan BRW, is Nick hunting elk too in Kentucky? Yes, he is going. Actually, I think it kind of worked out good for Nick last minute. They had some fires and stuff out in New Mexico, wasn't it, or the drought?
Well, you're talking about
why his got canceled and why he was able to come
last year they did, and Nick was going to hunt in New Mexico last year. Actually, this year New Mexico was really good, but the ranch he was hunting, they decided to hold off.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly because they just didn't want him back.
Yeah. Regardless or not, he didn't get to go to New Mexico, so therefore it opened up his schedule, and Waddell had an extra tag, and we did Rochambeau, and Nick won, so Nick got to go. So
exactly, but yeah, Nick's he'll be up there too. So we'll see. It should be a good hunt, man. I'm really excited. I like because I can actually drive the Chevy up there. I mean, it's about a 6-7 hour drive from where we're sitting right here. So we're leaving bright and early in the morning. Gonna drive up there, man. We're gonna keep everybody posted as to what's happening. Hopefully they're bugling. To me, it's strange to be able to hunt elk in hardwoods. I mean, literally the same place you'll be hunting deer and turkey. You know, kind of neat.
And it's old coal mining ground, isn't it?
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yep. And I think we're not too far from Jacksboro or Middlesboro, Kentucky. That was one of the Texas. Another one right here is, what is your favorite state to hunt in? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, we get asked that a lot. What is our favorite state to hunt in? And I guess the first thing would be the United States. That's our favorite one. But I guess if you had to put a gun to my head, it would be probably Iowa first, and then Kansas a close second. But there's a lot of good states out there. It's hard to nail it down to just one. How about you?
Probably maybe Kansas. And actually a place that I hadn't said a lot, but really it's turned into one of my favorites. Man, I've got to where in December and January I love to go down to Mexico when the opportunity presents itself, because it's just a fun, laid-back, top-pin slam dunk, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's a fun, laid-back hunt, especially after you've been hunting really hard all year to see deer on the ground, eye level right there. So Mexico and Kansas are probably my two favorite places.
Yeah, and talking about you and Nick going to Kentucky, actually, we've already had a few hunts already this year, and I got my first buck from Kentucky just last week actually. So got a full velvet buck in Kentucky. So Kentucky looks like it's going to be pretty good to us this year. So let's see what we got here.
This to me, I see D Puckett says, "Have you ever been?" And I thought it said, "Have you ever been hungry?" And I thought that was directed at T-Bone. And I thought it was a fat joke, and I was about to get mad.
Yeah, get his web address.
No,
right
I've never been in Hungary. I've never been over there.
And Dooley sends his love. Much love, Dooley.
Yep. Talking about, heard New Mexico was a long shot. How far was it? Actually, New Mexico was a long shot. That was about an 83-yard poke there, and it was. I mean, I'd actually been practicing that shot a good bit, and I had an 80-yard pin on my bow. And the way I look at putting pins on the bow, why put them on there if it's just for looks, man? If I'm going to put them on the bow, I'm planning on hopefully not having to use those long-range pins, but if I got them on there, I have the intentions, if I need to use them, I'm ready, and the situation's right, I'm ready to use it. And it was the last day, man, perfectly calm wind. Had a range, 83 yards, had that little Bushnell Art Rangefinder, and just let it eat. And son, it just flew in there perfect. And actually a complete pass through at 83 yards. And I had a lot of people ask me how much poundage I shoot. This year I've been shooting a little bit more poundage because T-Bone and I have been tweaking on my bow, because I just got back a couple months ago from Africa hunting the Cape Buffalo. So I had my bow on about 83 pounds, which is pretty stout for me, but I only shoot a 28-inch draw. So I forget what speed I'm churning out of there, but a brand new Easton Air T3 Broadhead, complete penetration. And that arrow was a little bit lighter than what I was actually wanting, but that man, even me and T-Bone both at there, 83 yards and completely passed through that T3. That arrow.
How much more penetration?
Yeah,
you need?
You can't get more penetration than that.
And I just watched We're here at the office. I just watched the footage. It was a phenomenal shot. Arrow flying good. Waddell did a fantastic job. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Right over the shoulder, you watching the arrow fly, and man, it hit its mark. So that's going to be a fantastic hunt. Go down in the archives.
And T-Bone, you answer that. What do you guys like, multi-pin or single pin?
You know, that's hard. I mean, I guess it just depends. That's kind of I see the pros and cons to both. I like a single pin for long distance shooting and for narrowing it down. But if you're rut hunting, in the Midwest and bucks are running in, I kind of like multiple pins because you don't have to worry about adjusting it. And when he's coming in, you can just get a good variables. And then plus it's a comfort factor knowing that if he's at 30 yards and you bump that 40 yard in the bottom of him, you see 2 or 3 pins in him. It's a comfort factor knowing that you can be off a couple yards and still get right in that kill zone. So I kind of lean towards, for most applications, a multiple pin, but that don't mean I'm pooping on a single pin. There's a lot of good applications for it too. It works good too.
And I do like a multi pin because it gives me an opportunity. Because mostly in hunting situations, I can quickly go to that pin and shoot. Probably could shoot a single pin better, but in a hunting, killing situation, I do like the multi-pin because it's usually quick opportunities. Another question: have you ever hunted in Ohio? I personally have never hunted deer in Ohio. I know T-Bone has.
Yep.
A couple of times.
We're going this year actually. Red Akins and myself are going to be hunting Ohio this year.
That's right. And then we got another question: what guys? What's my most memorable hunt? Mine would have to be when my dad got his elk in Colorado. His first elk, man, that was a really cool hunt for me.
Yeah, and my most memorable. It's hard to nail it down to one. I killed a pretty good buck in Iowa. It took me 3 years to draw that tag. That was pretty memorable. And then my little boy Archer got his first deer on New Year's Eve this past year, and that's pretty memorable too. So, guys, hard to nail it down to one. And
then look at the old T Fox. I remember old T Fox up there in that Asheville, North Carolina. What up, T Fox? Good to hear from you again, man. And then we got another. Are T3 broadheads considered barbed, or the blades fold forward? That's a great question. As a matter of fact, there used to be a law, or in New Mexico, it said something about a barbed broadhead, and some laws say that. But look at there. What up? But artwork by T-Bone. But I don't consider that a barbed broadhead, because the question is, what would be a barbed broadhead? Any broadhead could be considered barbed. That's a fixed blade, if that be the case. So that was taken out of the New Mexico the regulations, I noticed, because that's really confusing. Because technically, any broadhead that did not want to slide right back out could be considered barbed. So I do not consider a T3 barbed. I do not. It is not. It is a completely deploying broadhead. The blades fold back and the blades can be pushed back in. So I do not consider that a barbed broadhead.
Yeah, I don't either. And then there are some states that recognize it as a barbed broadhead. We don't agree with that, but just like Waddell said, some of the fixed blade broadheads, at the back of the blade, it's such a sharp taper off, it could be considered barbed. It's not going to pull out easy either way. So I think some of the states should look at their I don't know the engineering, who decides that, but that's not exactly right, I don't think so.
What's up, Bucks and Beards? Saw you on here, man. We love you too, bro. When is Guns and Bows is going to be released a CD? As soon as T-Bone masters the right hand tambourine, we're going to get our band up and do some recording. And the other problem is Nick Munt has never memorized any of the words. We've been doing the same 4 songs for the last 4 years, and he still don't know the words to Mr. Brownstone or In the Still of the Night. And so, the cool thing, the live entertainment that Guns N' Roses brings to you is really cool when Nick Munt's the front man, because you never know what he's going to say. Completely, 100% never know.
We're only up to 4 songs, and you got to have 10 to have an album,
and
so
actually,
we're working on it.
Actually, some of the Chevy team that might be watching tonight, y'all know I'm telling the truth, because some of the Chevy team here, even all the way there in Detroit, saw Nick Munt live one night at my house personally.
Yeah,
remember that?
Exactly.
And there were some things come out of his mouth that night.
Oh, yeah.
Really, scared me to thought we'd never get a chance to drive a Chevy truck. But so Guns and Bozos, I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
But he's never speechless, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the good thing, we were a little insecure when we named the band. We named it Guns and Bozos. In case we failed, we was already going to make a comeback as the Wounded Coons. That was the second try there.
I forgot about that.
What county in Ohio are you going to be hunting, T-Bone?
I don't know. I think it's Coshocton County. I know it's Coshocton City, and I think it's the name of the county also, but Coshocton, Ohio, that's the area.
I had a guy right here said, remember the Bone Collector banner hanging from the balcony at the NWTF? I do, bro. It looked good. At Opryland Hotel, look, there's a big old Bone Collector banner hanging up there, man. Yeah, thanks for throwing the bones out there in Opryland.
Realtree Man says, what are your guys' opinion on rag broadheads? I'm thinking that's a typo. You mean rage broadheads. Rage broadheads are good. We endorse the rear deploying broadheads, but we kind of lean towards that G5 T3 because it's an all steel blade, and it's a little tougher, easier to replace the blades too. So we kind of lean that way too. But
actually, what I do like about the T3, I like that aluminum retention ring, the spider clip, I think they call it.
No rubber O-rings.
I love that. It doesn't dry rot. It's easy to use and pretty simple.
Hey, we're getting a lot of great questions, guys, and we really appreciate that. But we got some people that emailed some in earlier this week, and we don't want to forget the early birds. You know what I mean? So let's ask a couple of these right here. It says, here's a good one right here from Mark from Baraboo, Wisconsin. What factors do you use besides wind direction to pick your stand location each day?
What factors do I use? It depends on the time of year for me. If it's early season, obviously food sources are a huge factor in where I hang them. And this time of year, obviously, I'm sitting usually right on the edge of a food plot. Is it nearest closer to the rut? I'm usually looking for travel corridor somewhere, some double corners where I feel like bucks will be in transition. If I'm not familiar with the property, I'm hanging stands where I can see a long way, so I can actually be trying to take an inventory of actually how the deer are moving. But typically, if you're stumped, any type of funnel, any type of structure that forces deer to move down through a certain area, that's usually the best places to hang a stand. And or if you're ever in a situation, deer just tend to move in double corners where there's multiple corners meeting the edges of fields. Deer tend to kind of walk those corners. Actually, an old tip Greg Miller gave me years ago. So it just depends on the time of year, and and usually we like to get around 20 foot where possible. Can't every time, but that's for me. That's what I like to do.
Well put, Waddell. I can't add to that. I would say the same thing. Here's another question. This is from Brandon Koss from Melrose, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's chiming in here. What are the chances to see a giant on opening weekend? Well, my thoughts on that is first time in is a very good time, especially if you've got some trail cam pictures and know the deer's in the area. Opening weekend can be a very predictable time because they're on their food patterns, they're on their summer patterns, and they're not really leery of all the hunters and the pressures that's in the woods. So
keep on talking to people because I got to show them something right here.
So I would say opening weekend is a fantastic time to get that deer, especially if you've got some summer stuff on him.
A prime example, Nick Munn. I got to give my hats off to Nick Munn. I don't know if Nick's watching tonight, but we just got through the hunt in North Dakota, T-Bone, and we've been out there scouting so hard, and T-Bone had been out there getting on it, right? And anyway, sitting there really cool. Anyway, we got to, he was scouting, we were looking, putting trail cameras up, hung about 6 or 7 sets. Anyway, long story short is, it was early season. This was a buck, I don't know if you can see him or not. We got several pictures of this particular buck. Every one of them was at night. And anyway, long story short, I go in there the first afternoon. Nick tells me to go in there the first afternoon. That deer makes a mistake, comes out the first night we're in the stand, and I get a shot at him at 20 yards right before dark and kill that buck the first time in. So actually, if you do have a deer that's pretty patternable, or you're seeing some good bucks or getting some on trail camera, that first time in opening weekend can be a very good time to kill the biggest deer in the woods.
We got right here says, this is Matt from Michigan, says, if you came across Bigfoot while hunting in the wild, would you bag him?
Man, I'd jack him up. I promise you, I'd shoot him. I mean,
yeah. I think we would be set for life.
The problem is you make sure you don't confuse it from somebody else.
Yeah, I know.
That could be, hey.
I've seen some people's backs. It's
don't
hairy.
Go squatching, shooting a squatch. You don't need squatching.
A Judy squatch.
Don't be a Judy squatching.
Don't send in the old Judy squatch. Old Leroy, Big Buck Nation. So boys, when does the gas tank run on empty? I know you have to get worn out sometimes with all the public appearances and hunts. What's the secret? Well, I would have to say, I guess the question is referring to because we're on the road so much doing appearances and going to expos and banquets and such, and then plus the fall is so busy hunting in the spring with turkey season and shooting bears and stuff. But I would just have to say just passion for the outdoors. I mean, when you're doing something for a living that you love, it don't really seem like work. So I mean, there's a few times and few days that we'd like to recharge our batteries and just LARP up with our families at home, and we get to do that. But as you know, as a whole, we ain't got nothing to complain about. We're so blessed and so grateful to be in the positions that we are. Life is so good. So we're really grounded.
And too, you know, it's funny talking about doing the public appearances. Every time we do one, we've been so overwhelmed and flattered by it, because for me, I will leave completely tired and like almost at times like, man, I hate to spend, man, I'll be gone for a week and we're gonna be doing this and that. But as soon as I get there and start, you know, shaking hands and meeting everybody, I'm just re-energized, because I realize how great the outdoorsmen and women are, how good, and just it's just so cool to hang out and chat with the people that come out, and folks like y'all, that it actually energizes me and gets me excited. So to be honest, the public appearances sometimes is what recharges the batteries for us, for sure.
Good questions.
I just see one right here. I'll just jump on. What's your favorite county to hunt in Georgia? Man, I love hunting my old home county, Meriwether County, man, down around Booker Bottom, Meriwether County, Manchester. Well, I don't want to give too much. Your papa will get mad at me.
Yeah, and me too. I'm from Troup County, which is right beside there, so I kind of like hunting at the house too. This is a good area that we're in, right along this Chattahoochee, in between the Chattahoochee and the Flint River. So it's a good area to grow up cutting our teeth on shooting slickheads. Hey, but before we go any further, this just hot off the presses, just come right off the facts right here. Did you know Silverado is the smart choice? It's the most dependable, longest lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Recognized by the Vincentric for the lowest.
Good job, T-Bone.
Vincentric. That's a tough word, but Vincentric for the lowest cost of ownership of any full-size pickup. Just won the award. That is awesome. In the 1500 Vincentric 2012 model level analysis of half-ton pickups in the retail market, the lowest cost of average to own. That's awesome. Let's put our hands together for Silverado and Chevrolet. What do you say?
That job, right there, folks, is why they don't write country songs about Volvos. You heard it right there. T-Bone just read it.
That's awesome, man. Hot off the presses.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with getting an award.
Let's see. What type of food and drink do you carry and stand with you? Do you ever carry coffee or things that smell strong? You know what? I try not to, but I ain't gonna lie. I've been so tired before I've had to bust up and bring that cup of coffee, or at least walking into the stand. I have, but I try not to. Yeah,
usually just water or something like that, because the more you drink, the more you got to go. So unless you just can't hold it. Sometimes, like Waddell says, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'll slide an old Diet Mountain Dew in there, get a little jacked up on Mountain Dew, you know what I mean? And then I'm a Cheeto lover. I mean, I know that's a surprise to y'all, but you can't take them to the stand.
Seems like it. I'm getting a lot of people sitting here just breaking up. Is it breaking up on y'all pretty bad? Or is it fuzzy? Or hopefully it's good. I'm telling you, man, this is pretty neat stuff here.
Oh, some people are watching on Facebook, and it may be breaking up through Facebook, is what headquarters is saying.
It could be.
Yeah, and then everybody's saying, no, it's good. It's good on my end. It's fine.
Okay, go to the site for sure.
Because I appear better when it's breaking up. My complexion looks better when it's breaking up. So.
All right. Let's see. Is it possible to smoke a cheese puff?
That is true. That is a tip of the week. Actually, we filmed that a couple of times, and I don't know if it's appeared as a blog or what have you, but you can burn a Cheeto. I'm not saying do it, but if you do have those big puffy ones, the crunchy ones don't burn as good because they're dense. But those big puffy ones, you can smoke a Cheeto. That is for sure. And I'd say it's probably my brother-in-law that asked that question if I ain't for sure.
I know you start a fire with old cheese puff. That's a good fire starter.
That's right. You keep them in a Ziploc bag.
And a Cheeto.
Yeah.
Got a gentleman right here. Met you years ago at the Realtree booth at CMA Fan Fest. Gave me a turkey vest. Still got them. Thank you very much. Well, thank you back, and you're welcome. Glad you still like them. Got Chris Brackett right there. Said he loves life and loves living it. Love on. We like loving on life ourselves.
Good to hear him say that.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And might be a change for him.
Loving life. Did you ever dream that you would be here one day? As you went, no. Let me figure out how to read. Did you ever dream that you would be here? And because I started off as a cameraman, and even after Realtree road trip started, heck no. For me, no. This is still like, I can't even say that it was actually a goal. I just realized how much I like the outdoors and hunting and fishing and just being outdoors. And Bill Jordan, Dave Blanton, those guys took a chance on me, let me run a camera, let me produce some shows, and actually listened to some of my creative thoughts about what I thought would be fun to bring forth on a TV show, and that led to road trips. And so I've been very thankful for every opportunity, and I've said it a million times. I mean, good Lord's given me so much opportunity to hunt across the country and see some things and hunt with a lot of cool people. And a lot of those cool people definitely were not just hunting personalities. They were just some of the people I met in camp and personalities and my family and friends. And if I didn't get a chance to ever go on another hunt, I promise you I couldn't be mad. I'm very thankful for the opportunities. And so no, I didn't ever think I would be here. I was just hoping that I could, make a living doing something I loved, like T-Bone said earlier, and it's been great.
Me too. Let's see.
What's the best kind of broadhead? Of course, we said that a while ago. We love the T3s or G5 product. Love those. What's the best woman's bow? That's a good question, T-Bone. What do you think on that one?
Well, Hoyt makes a bow that's very, very adjustable. It all depends on the draw length, because there's some women that are a little on the taller side that can shoot some of the men's bows. But the new Carbon Element RKT, they make it where it'll go all the way down to 24-inch draw. And the advantages to the Carbon Element is because it's so lightweight. So with women, a lot of times when they don't have a lot of upper body strength, they can't hold the lot heavier aluminum bows. With these Carbon Elements, actually they are lightweight so that they can hold the bow up. And now they're making them go down to 24-inch draw. It's fantastic. So as long as your woman is 24-inch draw or all the way up to 30, and if she is the 30-inch draw, you better make sure you say yes, ma'am, to her, because she will drag your deer out of the woods. You hear me, boys?
That's right. Got another question here. What broadheads, the grain weight do we prefer, or do we shoot the most? It seems that we shoot 100 grain head more than we do any head. The T3s right now only come in 100 grain head, so that we really like that. And actually, I just got back from the Africa trip. I actually shot 100 grain striker on that particular animal, which was a beast, and actually was shooting about what was that arrow? It was about right at 500 grains, I think I was shooting.
Yes.
It was right at 500 grains, the whole arrow, which, to be honest, is on the light side for a Cape Buffalo, but I'm pretty funny about, what I feel confident in, and I felt confident, and we got the job done. But if I went back over there, I'd actually, to shoot a Cape Buffalo, I'd go with a little bit heavier arrow. But in the States, if my arrow is weighing, I'd say 400 grains, I'm tickled. If I'm around that 400 grain mark, I'd hunt elk, any big game animal pretty much right here in North America and feel confident with it. And if it takes a 125 grain head or a 100 grain head to get me in that ballpark, for me it doesn't matter as much.
And we've been playing with a little bit with weighted inserts too, so that all the engineering with all the broadhead manufacturers seems to go towards 100 grain, because there's not a lot of differences. I mean, 10 years ago you could get a lot of different 125s. You could get broadheads in 75 and 85, and if you wanted faster, lighter front end or heavy front end. But it seems like all the manufacturers, everything's geared engineering and innovation wise for the 100 grain. So if you wanted to play with your FOC, which is front of center percentage, the front of center balance of your arrow, you have to do it with the weighted insert. And a lot of these new arrows, especially Easton 2, are coming around with weighted inserts so that you can boost your FOC and still have those highly engineered broadheads that work so well, so that you got a wide range that you can choose from, and then play with your weight of your arrow and where you're weighting the arrow with the weighted insert. So we're really excited about the stuff we've been playing with and the stuff that's coming for the future. Wink, wink.
We're trying to catch up here, guys. A lot of questions coming in tonight, and we really appreciate that. Let's find one. Who's your favorite outfitter? Man, we got a lot of good friends at the outfit that we have really enjoyed working with. Tom McMillan out there, great guy. Clay Young down there in Mexico. And to be honest, we've hunted less and less with outfitters over the years, and we've hunted a lot more with friends and people that we've met on the road. And you know, I was lucky enough to actually get a piece of property out in Kansas, so I hunt a lot out there. And actually, Tom McMillan helped me find that piece of property. So there's a lot of good outfitters, and there's a lot of good reputable outfitters. And you know, if you find one that's a good one, when you really compare the cost to going out there, especially when they put you up and feed you and take care of you in that way, it's actually about as cheap as a do-it-yourself hunt. You know.
And they've already got it figured out too. I mean, a good outfitter is worth his weight in gold. Milk River Outfitters, you know, Eric Albus out in Montana, we use him a lot. 7J Outfitters, I know Nick, that's his alma mater. That's where he cut his teeth out, was 7J Outfitters. Jeff and Deb Smith, they do a fantastic job. Realtree's been hunting with them for years. We've all been out there before, and so that's a good one. Actually, the guys that we hunted with in Kentucky was pretty decent. Scott Meredith and Bobby Taylor, we had a really good hunt with them. So I think we'll be going back to Kentucky for sure. I like the velvet.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yep.
We got one right here. In states that don't allow baiting, do y'all think mineral block should be allowed throughout the year? I'll be honest, and I'll probably make some people mad on here tonight. I think baiting should be legal in every state, and here's why. Because right now we got more single moms raising kids, and we're trying to get these kids involved in the outdoors. And even though there's a lot of habitat out there to read the sign, it's easy for somebody to go out there and have potential to at least see a deer, especially these kids out there. And we all know that just going out and putting a bunch of bait out to kill a big mature buck is hard to do, because you can put all the bait out you want. It does not guarantee that a big mature buck's going to make a mistake. Very rarely do they still make a mistake, because if you look at the pictures, all the big bucks where people are throwing out corn, even where it's illegal, most of those deer are still hitting it in nocturnal in the middle of the night. So I want people to have a chance to go fill their tags, and I think the state should crack down basically on making sure that the quotas are stuck to, that the tags, you know, that if you can kill 2 deer, then go get you 2 deer. I just want more people out in the woods hunting. I want more people to have the opportunity to experience things, and you know, for me, situational ethics is not something I really freak out about.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we're hunting over bait anyway. Between going to hunt over an acorn tree that's dropping, or persimmons, or muscadines, or a food plot, we're keying in on a deer's how do you say it? His instincts to go to food, or you know, when we're waiting on the rut, we're keying in on, you know, his sex drive. So, you know, baiting is baiting. So I think they should legalize it too. It says, I wanted to go back to this one. It says, Michael Waddell, you ever thought about shaving off all your facial hair?
You know what's funny is I did shave my goatee off this summer, completely off, and I actually did a promotion with it like that, and people were freaking out, man. And but I have. It's funny. I think I can shave my goatee, and that's my redneck plastic surgery, because I feel like that, you know, I can shave my facial hair and at least get a year or two. Take a year or two off. You know?
Oh yeah. So we'll save that till we really need it.
Somebody else says somebody else says my wife wants to know when y'all gonna shave your facial hair.
Shoot, it's covering up some of that ugly. I'm thinking about growing a full beard to cover it up. Or wear a face mask all the time.
Let's see.
One guy says, T-Bone, did you eat the Team Cheetos? Did you eat the entire case of Cheetos from the Buckmasters? If you're the guy that brought it to me, thank you very much. But we are still whittling on that. Archer's been eating on them, but no, we appreciate that. That's lasted us for a month, and I've been traveling, so we haven't dug in through all of them. But I appreciate it, man.
Let's see. It's funny. It says kids are still watching old episodes of T-Bone shooting the bow with a fishing rod for a stabilizer. That was good. That's sure enough T-Bone. That's where T-Bone was invented, right there.
Yeah, that's old school for sure.
That's right.
Golly, that's back in the Monster Bucks Foxworthy days.
How do you feel about crossbows? I'm fine with it. I personally like shooting the vertical bows better. I feel like I can even shoot them better, but I'm 100% for crossbows. Again, gets people out in the woods. It gets people hunting, and that's what we're here to promote. I want people outside and hunting.
Yep, just because they're legal doesn't mean that has to be your choice. I mean, everybody has their favorite weapon. Some guys are rifle hunters and not bow hunters, but you know, at the end of the day, no matter what weapon you choose, we're a minority, so we all need to stick together. We've even said before, if they opened up a wrist rocket season, we'd be for it too. So, you know, if it, like Waddell said, if it keeps people in the woods, we're all for it. Absolutely, especially for, you know, a guy that's on a budget that can only afford one archery style equipment for his family, can't afford to outfit all 4 or 5 of his kids with it. You can buy one crossbow and everybody gets a chance to hunt. See if you like the archery. If you have someone that's elderly or disabled, then it's a good way to keep them in the woods through those archery seasons. So there's a lot of advantage.
Why too, I was talking about that one gentleman put in here. Here in PA, a lot of people argue about the use of a crossbow. Me, I use a bow. And we do too. I mean, we shoot with a crossbow every once in a while, mainly because it's fun. I'm attention deficit, so I like to kind of go tinker around with other things from time to time, crossbow being one of them. The same with actually muzzleloading rifles. I mean, I love to shoot my bow, but I still like to go out and shoot a gun or a muzzleloader, and I still like to go shoot and pull a tag every once in a while with it. And for me, again, get back to what I said earlier, you know, different strokes for different folks. I think every job of every state agency and DNR division should be to encourage hunting. Obviously, we got to do it the right way, but to encourage and to make hunting fun and cool. Our resources are insane out there. We have so many renewable resources. Good Lord's been so good to bless North America with a lot of different hunting resources, and it's there to enjoy. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't, and so it's hard not to be selfish. I do know that, because sometimes, you know, you don't want to give your hot spots away, or you want to have the woods to yourself. But the more people we have in the woods, there's plenty of habitat out there. What will end up happening is it'll be easier for us to protect it, because the fewer of us we got, the less we have to protect it, and they will take it away from us. The antis could take it away, and they work hard every day, and they want to see us going against each other. So it's about sticking together for sure. What else we got? Says Chevy needs to make y'all a new 2013 truck that looks like the old Road Trips truck. Man, hey, that would be cool. You heard that, Chevy?
Yes.
That would be cool. That was, man, when the relationship first started got going with Chevrolet, we upfitted one of the 3/4 ton trucks, and man, it was so cool. And that truck actually, they still have it. Roger Culpepper at Realtree Farm still actually drives that truck. It was one cool ride. Man, it would do some pulling, and it was cool, man. It got attention. Matter of fact, one day I'm riding down the road, and it's got the Road Trips on the side, and there's a guy going down beside me. He's holding a shotgun out the window, and I thought he was about to shoot me. Ended up he'd pulling me over, wanting me to sign his shotgun. It was so funny. Yeah.
Oh me. Oh man, we just got. What happened there? There we go.
You go back.
Oh, there we go. We got it.
You get it back.
We got it back. Yeah, we're excited this time of year. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to go ahead and start the season, but I was just in Ohio this past weekend at a Whitetails Unlimited banquet, and Ohio's season opens in 2 weeks. They actually moved it back a week, but it seems like most of the country, especially the Midwest and stuff, always starts right around the last week of September and first week of October. And I know you guys are excited, and especially up in the Northeast too. A lot of the opening days are coming up on us. So, man, we here at Bone Collectors, we encourage you to get out there, even though it may be a little hot and a lot of people complain. But you know what? Those deer have to live in it 365 days a year. Whether it's snowing, whether it's raining, whether it's 90 degrees, 100 degrees, those deer are in it. So, we encourage you to get all your stuff together, get to practicing, or hopefully you've already been practicing with the bow, and get out there and try to, even if it's just a slick head, get out there and just slaughter one. Ain't no better feeling, and ain't no better table fare than a good old slick head.
That's right. Got one question right here. It says, if you could pick up just any hunting gun or a caliber of a rifle, what would you pick for bear, deer, turkey, elk? I'm not turkey, but just across the board. For me, it'd be the 300 Ultra Mag. I mean, I've shot brown bear with that gun. I've shot elk. I've shot deer. It's just a good all-around gun. That Remington 700 300 Ultra Mag, it's a great caliber, flat shooting, a lot of horsepower.
I agree with you. There's a lot of good calibers. I always lean back towards the 30-06, and the gun I bought when I was first out of high school was a 30-06, a Remington 700 ADL 30-06, and the reason I bought it is because I kept looking at all the ballistics, and you could get everything from a 55 grain accelerator all the way up to a 220 grain round nose. So it's so versatile, and then also you can get so many different calibers. I mean, not calibers, but you can get so many different weighted grain bullets. And then plus you can buy them just about anywhere. 30-06 shell you can buy at a gas station, a convenience store, or a hardware store. And
well, here's a question right here I got to throw out there. This is more to T-Bone. You know, what would be your competition setup, or what competition setup did you used to shoot? And got to brag on my man Bone. He's actually shot this past summer quite a bit of competition, and actually did a heck of a job. And didn't you end up getting second or third this year?
Got second at the ASA State this year.
So Bone can still get out there and shoot, man. Had his Cheetos in his pocket and bringing the heat out there, baby.
Yeah. Blind hog will find an acorn.
But what's the setup you use? I know you set up and you
for tournaments.
Yeah.
I shoot I got a Pro Elite. I got a Pro Elite that I've got set up shooting 2212s aluminums. They're the I'm just a diehard Easton aluminum fan. They're just so forgiving. And then I'm shooting like a launcher lizard style rest. Shooting a 3-fingered hinge release from True Ball. And just it's the same setup I've had for the last 2 or 3 years. I know I got a Vantage Pro Elite that I got set up now. It's dipped in Max 1, and I got it set up for a little longer distance hunting bow. So I'm excited about that. It's really packing them in there tight at longer distance. So I'm looking forward to that bow too. And
I got to give a shout out to my girl Chloe. I think she's sitting here watching the live chat right now. Hey
Hi,
there,
Chloe.
darling.
Hey, Chloe.
She's 4 years old and pretty as a speckled puppy on a red fire engine. Let's see right here. I love your hunting booger bottom book. Great stories. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was a fun book to write, but I tell you, there's been a lot of other crazy stuff happening in my life since. See, it's a book. Number 2 could be 10 times better, actually. But that was a fun book to put together right there, and just. It was just fun reliving all those old stories and looking back on my start at Realtree and just the opportunities I've had. That was really cool. Let's see what else we got here.
How did you get started in shooting tournaments? I guess that's Waddell shot some tournaments too, but actually I shot tournaments before I actually killed a deer with a bow. Some friends of mine they had started shooting in the yard and stuff, and I bought a bow on a Wednesday, and while we were there we met a guy that actually run the local range, and he asked us to come out that Sunday. So 5 days after I bought my first bow, we were at the range. So I got hooked on tournament archery even before I'd killed my first deer with a bow. So I've been doing both for a long time, really too long. Shows my age actually.
Camo Chick says my husband will be happy to be the 4th, 5th, or even the 6th bone collector on the TV show.
I'll write that down right there.
That's awesome, man. We'd love to hunt with all y'all. I promise you that. Matter of fact, one guy asked on there, T-Bone, how did it feel when you took those poachers off the street when you was hunting in the silo stand in Kentucky? You remember that, dude?
Oh yeah, that was it was a little scary at first because she kind of shooting our way, but it felt good to know.
It was during bow season too.
Yeah,
they was cracking down.
Yep, had the old slug gun out the window, kind of pointed at our direction, but luckily we was in that cement silo, so we kind of felt kind of safe. I knew how the South, when the North come a running, I knew how the South felt when they was behind them rocks and stuff. So yeah, we was glad we brought justice down on that. Luckily we had the camera there and got a little evidence, and that helped out a lot.
Man, we're getting a lot of questions. We're trying to keep up, man. We're actually falling behind, but do we ever use any mock scrapes? And if so, what kind of sense you use in them? I have from time to time. Most of the time when you find yourself out there hunting, there is a lot of scrapes out there. Most times it seems that we're hunting somewhere close to scrapes. So I tell you, I've had a lot of luck with that rub line slime. I've used that a lot. Where legal, you can only where it's legal. Obviously, just doe urine is a great scent to use. Use that a lot, and really just freshen it up, because so many times those deer are, they hit those scrapes somewhat like a bait pile or a food plot. They hit them right in the middle of the night. Those bucks are nocturnal when they usually clean them out, and you'll find that apparently you leave that evening, the scrape has just got leaves all over it. The leaves and fell on it. Get back, it's steaming fresh the next morning, and you're like, holy cow, he beat me here. So. All right, I'm trying to get down here. Let's see if we can't. I see y'all bow fishing a lot. I would love to learn, but it looks difficult. Actually, bow fishing is pretty simple. I mean, it takes the right equipment, and T-Bone is obsessed with bow fishing. He loves it.
Unreal. And Nick says, I'm going to go ahead and say it because we say it every time. Nick says I like bow fishing because the fish don't run when you rattle a Cheetos bag. Well, there's some truth to that, but you think about it, it's done mostly in the off season, so you can't hunt anything but maybe a bear in the summer or hogs. So we can do that during the daytime. Well, at night, heck, you can bow fish all night long. If you're any little bit of a night owl, which I am, and you're going to get shots. I mean, you're on pins and needles the whole night long, and you're going to get shots. I'm obsessed with it. I really like it. I mean, I can't just pick one thing. I like doing it in Kentucky. I mean, actually, all through the summer, every state I went to, I tried to line up a bow fishing trip, but man, I love it. I can't get enough of it.
We just switched over, started deer fishing now. Just ain't got a string tied it in there.
I say I'm bragging on myself about liking it, but I'm gonna tell you who the monster is on bow fishing. Is Waddell's son, Mason. Mason
he loves it.
I tease him all the time. Like, we was at a motocross event. I said, man, you know what? We're only about 100 miles from a good place to go bow fishing. He goes, call that guy T-Bone. So
don't say it if you don't mean it.
Don't say it if you don't mean it. He kept wanting me to call that guy and our buddies Denny and Dave up in Paducah, Kentucky, and see about getting on the lake with him, but we couldn't do it. But man, he is obsessed with it. So I got me a bow fishing buddy from now on for sure.
2 questions right here. Waddy, what is your favorite animal to hunt, and also do you like hang on or climbing stands? I like lock on stands the best. A whole lot quieter, where you have the opportunity to hang them in advance. And even if I'm hanging them, I'd rather go in and hang a lock on stand really quiet in the morning than I just like the lock ons. What's my favorite animal to hunt? Man, I love to hunt turkeys. That's my favorite thing. My favorite thing to shoot would be a big whitetail probably, but I love to hunt turkeys. And holy cow, I'm going to end up saying 3 things, and right behind that would be elk, because it's like hunting a 700-pound turkey. So, but turkeys that's my all-time favorite.
For me, I like whitetail deer. That's my favorite by far. Whitetail deer is my favorite.
Man, my man Chopper, old Chopper Bitterman. He's on here. Michael asked if you remember the Hormel hunt down in Texas when old Click, Michael Klutz, the sweepstakes winner, he I don't know if you... Yeah, I do. That was a great story.
I was there. I come in there halfway through that week.
Sweepstakes winner killed 1 turkey. He could kill 2, and I hadn't shot 1. And we had a turkey come in there on camera, and the turkey was standing out there 10 yards. And I said, go ahead and kill him, Michael. And I was hoping there'd be 2, and there's only 1. Where he went to shoot, and his gun clicked. It jammed. It would not shoot. And so old Waddy had to torch him. And it was so funny. It was like one of those bittersweet type things.
Awesome.
Good to hear from you, old Chop. Let's see. Right on. Good luck, gents. Be safe. Happy blood shells. Antler Insanity. That's right. Antler Insanity. That's a good show, man. If y'all haven't seen Antler Insanity, I'll check that out. Have you guys ever hunted Blanton Creek over our way? Actually, I have. I've hunted turkeys over there. Look at that.
Chevy Silverado. Lowest cost to own, the Vincentric Award. Yay, Chevy!
T-Bone's going to keep saying that Vincentric because he's just happy. And he's actually saying it correct. I mean, I'm impressed.
Well, as far as we know, we're saying it correct. So
no, I think so. I've never had to do a little thing. Vincentric, yeah.
Okay.
He's very good, T-Bone.
Shoot, I'm proud we won.
But the question, Blanton Creek, man, I actually don't live too far from Blanton Creek. That's a great little WMA. And,
yep.
A lot of turkey, a lot of deer. It's on a quota, but after a certain time during the spring, it opens up to the public just for sign-in. So, great place to hunt. Do you have to be in your fan club to be entered for the sweepstakes? No, you don't. From what I understand, you do not have to be a fan in the fan club.
But it's all right if you are.
But hey, might sign on up. That's right. Let's see.
Blanton Creek, that's where we do a lot of bow fishing too. The
That's
Chattahoochee
right.
goes in on the back side of it, so
That's
we're
exactly
all
right.
over Blanton Creek.
Yep.
I see that.
How did you break into the hunting industry, such as being a cameraman or even the toilet cleaner for Realtree? Man, just persistence. I think Bill finally started feeling sorry for me and started letting me hunt a little bit. But man, I got to give that to David Blanton and Bill just for believing in me and giving me a chance just to work at Realtree. I was so excited just to be working at Realtree. I remember the first time I had a chance to go to the Buckmasters Expo and help sell Monster Bucks DVD or VHS tapes.
Yeah.
I was just so happy and honored to wear a Realtree shirt. It was really cool, and I'm still love those guys. They're like family to us.
And you know what? You say that story, but actually, me, you, and Nick kind of it's very similar stories as far as Realtree, David, and Bill giving us our chance and kind of taking us under their wing. So, much props to all the guys at Realtree. It is a family.
Now, here's a great question, because you get on Archery Talk and so many people get to hating on us and doing different things. Here's a question. It says, do you guys have any input on the items that have Bone Collector, the logo on that? And the question is, the whole reason that we wanted to have a Bone Collector logo on any product is because we wanted to have a little bit of input in developing. And for instance, me, Nick, and T-Bone, we love archery. So obviously the archery stuff has been the natural fit for us to get in and tweak. And T-Bone is so anal. He's so a perfectionist, almost to the point where we'll
just say perfectionist. Let's not use anal. Let's not use anal. Let's use perfectionist.
But yes, we do. What we wanted is, in working tight with our partners, is to develop the exact pieces of equipment that we wanted to help us fill our tags. Whether it's a game call, whether it's a bow release by True Ball, whether it's certain things. I mean, you got products like Hoyt that they have done so much. Work in the technology of that bow, that a carbon element, what do you change? Well, what we can do is make it have a cool, mean looking paint job that we like and apply our graphics. So certain things might not be just a mere cosmetic change that we personally like or want, and certain things are big, just like the True Ball release that you helped develop, that beast release. It goes on and on.
The True Glow sights.
The True Glow sights is what we want. We wanted to try to develop some things that was affordable, that actually is what we wanted to use in the field to help us be successful. So Bone Collector is just not something we go slap it out there just to try to make $1 on it. We want to know that we've had a chance to talk about it, whether it's scent blocker clothing. We want to be wearing and using things that we feel makes us a better hunter when we're out there. And that's been the funnest part about that, is have a chance to sit down and be heard by some of these companies that we were such fans of. When you're sitting down talking to Scent Blocker, or you're sitting down talking to Hoyt or Easton, to have a chance to talk to Easton to develop an arrow shaft like we got coming out this year, I mean, that's flattering right there, because I have so much respect for that company and so much respect for what they do in all kinds of different industries. To have a chance for them to listen to T-Bone, Nick, and I about what we wanted in an arrow, that's pretty cool.
Very flattering. Yeah, I never would have thought that 15, 20 years ago, would you?
Never.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is Bone Collector affiliated or partners with Realtree, or is it slowly Michael Waddell? Is Bill Jordan and Realtree a solid partner? How did the Bone Collector start? Bone Collector is a company that I started completely with a lot of help from a team member. It was a vision that I had coming off the success of road trips. Realtree has been involved in Bone Collector, or supported Bone Collector from day one. Like I said, Bill Jordan has been such a supporter of me, Nick, and T-Bone. And when the idea of Bone Collector come up, I knew, because of being friends with Nick and T-Bone, I knew some of their dreams and what they wanted to achieve in the hunting industry. And so it was a natural fit for me to call those guys in to help me in a brand new startup company like Bone Collector. I also needed the help of Realtree, as well as a lot of other people that have come and helped us take Bone Collector to where it was, and the support has been tremendous. But Realtree was one of the first people to really sit behind and say, Michael, we got your back. We believe in you. We're behind Bone Collector. But from that point, no, they're not a silent partner. They're just supporter, and we're a huge supporter of Realtree.
Absolutely, family. That's what we said, family. This guy, D Rules 2012. Are you opening more bone shops outside of Illinois? The one there is awesome, and what he's referring to is, up in Ottawa, Illinois, we have the Bone Shed, which is the Bone Collector, I guess, outlet store or what have you. It's an archery shop. It celebrates all of our partners, a lot of our merchandise and warehousing. It's a great little old store. Jim Schiefelbein, Tim Kitts, Randy Hill, those guys up there running that. Michelle Tabor, fantastic lady, works in there. Y'all make sure you go by there. If you're right there on Interstate 80 in Ottawa, Illinois, Bone Shop, the Bone Shed is a fantastic store to go to.
One question here: do you like seeing your logo tattooed on your supporters, or do you think it's ridiculous? Come on now, haha, tell me, be honest. I think it's awesome. It is flattering, because when we started Bone Collector, that logo, we wanted something that signified basically a predator, and but also something that was kind of different, that was cool. Because keep in mind, Bone Collector, that idea came from what I was seeing in the industry is a lot of people making excuses for why they like to hunt. And I viewed hunting as something that you didn't have to make any excuses for. So I knew that when we developed the logo, it had to be strong. It had to be something that meant something. And so that logo is special to me. And so to see it being special enough to other people that they'll get it tattooed on them, that's really cool and flattering. And no, I don't think it's ridiculous. If it's something you think is cool, and that means to me, that just helps me realize that I hope the true message of what we was trying to bring forth about what the outdoors means, what hunting means. We feel strongly that hunting is more than just a privilege; it's a God-given right. We've been given dominion over the wildlife and the fisheries, and to take care of it, and also to feed our families with it, and to take care of it. So, with that, I don't think I have to make any excuses, and that logo signifies that, and that's what we're trying to make sure it shows, and to have the people in support that believe in that same message, like Chevrolet and all these other companies. That means a lot, and definitely even something like tonight, with Chevy putting this on, and for those guys to stand behind us is more than just standing behind me, T-Bone, and Nick. That's them standing behind 13 million licensed hunters and saying, we think hunting's cool, we like the outdoors, we understand, and we get it. And I hope that definitely helps them sell more trucks, because there's a lot of hunters out there that I know will appreciate that. So if you're looking for a truck, man, just know that Chevy supports you guys. They support hunters, and they support the outdoors, and they understand what we like to do in our lifestyle and what we love.
Yeah, and what better way to celebrate the harvest than to let it go for a tailgate ride on a Chevrolet Silverado.
Now here's one that man, I hate to do this, but it says, is it true that David Farman is an ultimate hunting ninja?
Yeah, ninja.
Ninja. When Dave Farman...
Goes the Judy, chop right down on in there.
Yeah, matter of fact, Dave Farbs has never even used a weapon to successfully use his tags. And
nunchucks at one time.
He was completely trained by Wrestler number 2.
Yep.
And they call him Death from Above. He just jumps out of trees on them and puts a ninja chop on them.
Yep. Him and Jimmy Superfly Snooker.
I'm scared. I mean, he could be... Dave could be right here on it. He could jump down on us any time.
The Judy chop.
The hunting ninja. Judy chop. That's funny. Is it like hunting elk or caribou? Well, here's one right here. Which Bushnell product has benefited you the most? Definitely the Arc rangefinder.
Oh my gosh!
Without that Bushnell rangefinder, I would be like a little old kid sucking on a lollipop, lost, dazed and confused. I would be.
Yeah, they came along.
And I'm saying that with all sincerity.
Me too. I got the number 3 Bushnell rangefinder in the mid-90s that came into the state of Georgia. And back then, I was just as excited about using it as a training aid for 3D archery because of my competitive archery background, as much so as hunting with it. And it was big and bulky, but man, I towed it. If it weighed 25 pounds, I would have towed it before I brought my bow to the woods. And to this day, I still love that Bushnell rangefinder. And now that they have the ARC system in there for the angle range compensator, shoot, you can't go without it. I mean, lost is last year's Easter egg if we ain't got it.
Right. I got another guy, the same guy, she comes and says, okay, Waddy, did you come up with the BC logo? If not, who did? Actually, I did not design that logo. A guy named Cleve designed that logo. And basically just on direction of some ideas and basically the vibe, just on a mission statement of what Bone Collector stood for. And it's funny, the first artwork that Cleve sent in was pretty much, it has not been tweaked hardly at all. And when I saw it, I'm like, that's it. That's the logo. That's what I'm looking for. And that's what we went with. As a matter of fact, we had Cleve go back and he designed one that was a whitetail Bone Collector. It was a whitetail rack, but it just, the team voted. And at first, we all kind of liked the whitetail, but then we got to thinking it just lost a little bit of the skull. And so we stuck with the muley, or the whitetail muley hybrid rack that you see on it. So, many props to Cleve, my boy out there, man. An Auburn graduate who actually come up with that logo.
Right here, Boss Harry Man, what type of peep sight do you guys use, and what do you think about using a kisser button? Peep sights, we use the G5 Meta Peeps, and then actually this year they've introduced a titanium peep, which is a structurally more solid, and it you can shave some weight off. So if you guys that are trying to get every ounce of speed or feet per second you can do it with that titanium. But that Meta Peep is also comes in a wide variety of sizes, a jam up peep. Do I recommend a kisser button? Waddell personally does not use one, and he does have a really good anchor, but for most folks, yeah, I do recommend using a kisser button because it's another place to hang your hat. You'll have usually your anchor on your side of your jaw, then one of your corner of your mouth, tip of your nose, and then naturally your peep side is another anchor. It's just a more consistent way to make sure that you're doing the same thing every time and you're locked in. So I do recommend a kisser button, but it's real important to make sure you get it positioned right, as is with your peep sight.
Another question right here is, where was it? Oh, this question's come up several times. What's the biggest deer? My 10-year-old son wants to know, and I've seen that question pop up a couple of times that I've ever shot. My biggest whitetail is 176 inches that I got in actually Indiana, and that was a question on there too. Yes, we are coming back to Indiana, man. We love that spot. Holy cow.
Yeah, mine was a 162 from Iowa. Yeah, killed it a couple years ago. Pretty proud of that. And I tell folks a lot of times, I mean, we all want to kill 180s, 190s, 200s, but man, I don't know that I'll ever kill one because it's hard to let a good mature 130, 140, 150 go.
I know
to get to one of the big 190s or 200s, or shoot a slick head for that matter. It's hard not to.
Let's see. Don't say that there's no big bucks in Indiana. That's right. Can't say that. Have I ever hunted red stack? I never have. I bet you Nick Mutton has. Nick's hunted everywhere. That joker's been all over the world. That's a gypsy right there.
And not just for hunting. Bachelor parties also.
That's exactly right. One guy says he's getting a chance to go to Romania to hunt brown bear because his wife is from Romania. That's cool, man. Go on with it. Hunt fallow deer and stuff, so that's cool. Let's see what else. It says, I've noticed you guys taking very long bow shots lately, and it shows 50 yards or longer. What do you attribute this to? Better bow tech? I mean, I'll jump in there and say that. No doubt. T-Bone sets up all our bows. He is the best bow wrench, and I'm not saying that we cut up a lot and we're always juking each other and jabbing each other. But all seriousness aside, T-Bone is very, very particular with setting up his bows, and so I definitely attribute a lot of my ability to shoot, pretty decent because of T-Bone, because my bow is always shooting good. And two, the technology and what we got out there right now, just the penetration power, the killing opportunities that these broadheads are bringing forth, and your shorter vanes, your arrows that fly through wind a lot better, gives you an opportunity to basically do those longer shots. And so if with a little practice, you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish out there, because you talk about a dream animal and your dream hunt. Well, it's your dream thought or your dream is only as good as what your ability is. And so when you have that deer walk out there, what you'll find, all the knowledge you have about deer hunting, elk hunting, turkey hunting, when it really gets down to it, it's going to be what are you going to do when you come to full draw, and how far can you take it. So I try to prepare myself more to take shots that could be the difference in taking home an animal or not. And if that means 80 yards my limit, then that'll be my limit. But I'm not going to limit myself. I'm gonna shoot, and then I will be able to make that call as what I feel I can't shoot any further. But the opportunity's there. Yeah,
and we encourage that you don't shoot beyond your talent level or your comfort zone. Meaning, a guy that only shoots for 2 weeks before the season and he's only shooting a pie-sized group at 30 yards, he doesn't need to be shooting Hail Marys at 50 and 60 yards. Keep in mind, and I don't mean this arrogantly, we shoot all year long, and we're shooting all the time, so we are comfortable with shooting at 50, 60, 70 yards and 80 yards, and we practice at 100 yards. Does that mean that we're going to shoot at any animal that way? No. You got to judge the temperament of the animal to make sure that they're calm. You're not going to be taking a buck chasing a doe and shooting at 80 yards of him running down through the hardwoods. That just ain't going to happen. But if it's a deer that's really calm and feeding in a food plot, and you want to take a 54, 55 yards at a doe out there, by all means, if your comfort level and if you draw back and kind of assess how you're shooting that day, if you're good and steady, and if you can feel like you make the shot, just be real honest with yourself, because nobody wants to wound an animal. But if you're comfortable with that, by all means, take a shot. Series compound.
T-bone series compound bow, that would be good.
When are you going to come out with a T-bone series compound bow? Well, I would be flattered if that happened, but to be honest with you, as long as Hoyt keeps making the great bows that they do, I'll just be by all means be glad to shoot them bows. They're very innovative, and we're proud to shoot the bone collector bow. It does have a little T-bone influence in it, and it's got bone in it, and it's a bone collector bow, and we're very happy with that.
What hunt we're looking forward to most this year? For me, I look forward to all of them, but I'm really anxious to get to Kentucky and hunt these elk. Like I said before earlier in the chat, I'm just excited about hunting elk in the hardwoods in a place that, to be honest, because of Kentucky's DNR and Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, is possible. So it's a cool opportunity, cool resource, and I'm excited about tapping into it and just seeing what it's about. And I love hunting elk, and nothing better than hunting right there with a bunch of old crazy old rednecks up here in Kentucky. I'm excited in the cold country.
Yep, and I'm excited about a bunch of them too. I'm looking for redemption in Kansas, that's for one thing. But I had a good time. Me and you had a good time in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. We're doing that hunt again, the little old urban hunt. So you kind of got a good feeling going in on that. We're going to fling some arrows. I mean, it ain't going to be a tag sandwich eating trip, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to that. Plus, there's cheesesteaks in Philly.
Man, I got. Somebody said, "How about them Falcons, man?"
Yeah,
I love them. I love the Falcons. Now the Falcons, man,
they rose up last night, didn't they?
They got crazy on it one time.
That defense was amazing last night.
Oh, Peyton looked bewildered. I had never seen Peyton.
He was shaking his head every time.
Yeah, I've never seen him look bewildered, but he looked bewildered.
A guy was asking, "Bone, where is your archery shop located?" Actually, I had an archery shop for 12 years, but in the last 5, I don't have or operate an archery shop. I got a archery dungeon, kind of a laboratory in my basement, and man, I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of bow setting up going on there, but kind of something open to the public. I personally don't have one now. We do have an archery shop at our headquarters up in Ottawa, Illinois. So it's called the Bone Shed, Bone Collector Headquarters. Old Tim Kitt, he's a good archery wrench. And you can go in there and see those guys, and they will get you set up too. But that's in Ottawa, Illinois. We're down here in Georgia. What's your favorite color? Forest green.
Yeah, mine would be
mauve.
Yeah, if I was serious about it, I like blue. I like blue. That's a pretty color.
How would you know you colorblind?
I know. It's the only color I can see, man. I see blue. Blue is the color of the sky. It's beautiful. I love it. Plus, my girlfriend, she got pretty blue eyes, so I like that.
Boy, I hope she was listening, so she
I
thought
do too.
You get them brownie points. How about them hummingbirds?
I think that's a knock on the Falcons, man. I'm gonna block this guy right here. No, please.
Yeah.
Do you think the drought will have an effect on the deer? Man, any time of major change in the weather, especially a drought, can change a little bit of the habits of a deer. And obviously, if it happens during the springtime, the growing season, it can affect the antler growth. But it also could go to your favor, because if it's a real droughty year and and food is scarce, well, wherever you do find food, those deer are going to be there. And obviously, especially out west when you got a drought, and you can find water hole, animals have to drink. And so even though in the south we're not used to hunting around water holes, it definitely can help you in certain situations where there's not much water.
Oh, that was pretty nice of that guy right there. What did he say? Thank you guys so much that's old Bucks and Beards. Thank you guys so much for doing these chats. I love how you always reach out to your fan base. You guys are the best in the business. Happy hunting and good luck this season. I think that was.
I appreciate that.
I think that was Edwin that wrote that.
It might have been. Fresh cut cornfield or an acorn flat, depending on
where's the deer poop.
Yeah, well, and it all depends too on when it happened. Like if them acres just started falling and they just started hitting the ground, then I'm going with acorn flat because deer have just a weird, uncanny feeling of just jumping in there, and they know when that's just happening, and they know that maybe that cut cornfield, maybe that corn ain't going nowhere other than something that's going to eat it. And so whatever new is just happening, that's what I usually go with. If the persimmon trees are falling, then you go with that. Meaning, I guess what I'm trying to say, if you got a real pretty food plot, the deer can be hitting it every day, then all of a sudden those first white oak acorns start falling, you'll notice a lot of activity that leaves your food plots, and they'll start hitting those acorns because it's almost like they got to get them. They got to get that new food because it's almost like they're in a frenzy to not know how long they're going to be there. Let's see.
Whitetail or state record gobbler? I gotta go with the whitetail.
Yeah, probably a whitetail. Favorite venison recipe? Mine's just a backstrap. I like to make deer chili, so any ground deer meat, and then I like a backstrap. Just literally cut that thing up, and I throw a little of that Cracker Boy seasoning on it. Just dry rub it. I don't even marinate it a whole lot. Maybe a little bit of Dale sauce or Worcestershire, or what T-Bone says, Worcestershire sauce. And throw it on the grill.
Yep.
And serve it up rare, man. I love it.
You know, I kind of like that
I
recipe.
tell you, I've had that. I've had some show enough city slicking girls.
Yeah.
Come over and throw that on until it was a little baby filet mignon.
And
And of course, ain't no such thing as the little baby filet mignon. And they'll eat them and say, man, that was good. And they high-fiving me, and I tell them they just ate, big old dough, and they'll be hating me for a little while, but then they'll be liking me for breaking them in on something country like that. So.
And then our buddy Doug Stevens that does the taxidermy and stuff, man, he took them cubed deer and marinated in Italian dressing, wrapped up, put some peppers in there along with some cream cheese, and we put it on the grill. That was good.
Oh, man.
It was so good. We ate on that thing for about 4 or 5 days at our house. Man, we got to do that again. Last
question right here. One is, what Easton shaft are you using? We've always been fond of that ACC shaft.
Mm-hmm. The bone collector shaft's been good to us too.
That bone collector shaft, that's all carbon, and we're really excited about it. And this is brand new. Matter of fact, this is the first place we ever announced it. Was on this chat. We come out with a brand new Easton shaft. It's actually kind of my signature shaft. It's called DA Torch. I'm always saying Torch, Torch 1 or whatever. But this is for deadly accurate, and the arrow is called Torch. And man, it's a heck of a sweet arrow. It's gonna come in 3 different weights. Good looking graphics on this arrow, and it's made just super straight, super tough, and made to completely put it through the heart of an animal. So by far the best for you techies out there. The best tolerances on a carbon shaft I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I'm amazed at how good they are.
Yeah.
Really excited about that. Man, we've done went 10 minutes over.
We done 10 minutes.
Look at that. How about that?
Well, I hate, and I know we didn't get to everybody's questions, but man, we certainly tried. And man, just want to tell you guys, thank y'all for tuning in, man. This was definitely one of the best we've been part of as far as this chat. Tons of questions. They're still coming in. Lots of people on the chat, and just I can't tell you what you guys mean to us. And
absolutely.
And I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I get lost for words, but it means a lot you guys support us. We realize that your dollars that you spend, every one of them are hard earned, and y'all can spend a lot of different ways. So when y'all spend it, and if it's anything to do, support our partners, support the people that supported Bone Collector. It means a lot to us, and so thank you, and thanks to Chevy for giving us the opportunity to come in y'all's living room or wherever y'all might be, and it just means a lot because it is a brotherhood of people. It's a community of people out there, and we're just like you guys. We love to hunt, we love to fish, we love the outdoors, and happy birthday, Peggy, right there. So thank y'all, appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
And hopefully everybody has happy gut piles and blood trails out there this fall, and shoot, I'm ready to go hunting.
That's right.
We'll keep y'all posted on the Kentucky trip too. And T-Bone, he's about to get after them too.
Celebrate Chevy. Celebrate. Make sure you celebrate hunting. Make sure you don't back down whenever someone confronts you about it. Be proud of being a hunter. Wear that camouflage to the airport. Buy that camouflage backpack when you go out to the store for your kid for school. And we appreciate you guys. Like Waddell said, we can't thank you guys enough. We appreciate all y'all's support. And we wish everybody a happy hunting, a safe hunting. And we'll see you next time. We can't wait.
Thank y'all. Love you guys.
Wait a minute. Jason.